All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is Saturday, February 8th. Obviously, we are traveling, so we do have a road version of the video. I don't even have a hat on. There's a lot of weird stuff going on, all right? But we are traveling, so we do have a road version of the video, meaning we're just going to get to a couple of our favorite plays of the day. We're not going to go through the entire slate, giving you our breakdown on each and every game, which I am bummed about. We just don't have the time today. I'm bummed about because we have AD's debut. We have just a ton of great games on Knicks, Celtics. So unfortunately, it just works out like that. That we are not going to be able to go through each and every game, but we may be adding some plays. So we have two plays in today's video that we're going to get into, both of them being player props. But keep an eye down on the pinned comment, like I always tell you guys. We may throw in some added plays throughout the day over there, and I'll give a little blurb on the site in terms of why we're rolling with that. If you guys do check that out, and we do have added plays, just so you have the reasoning and rationale. But like I said, two plays coming your way. First, let's take a peek at how we did yesterday. A 3-0 sweep of a night. Tim Hardaway Jr. Did he finish? I think he finished with 6 points. Two threes he did hit. I did say on the video it's mega juiced, and we even lost 5 cents of value there. We got it at minus 155. But if you watch that back, I said I'd still play this in the minus 150 simply because I think it should have been like a minus 180 prop. Do you know what I mean? So in my dumb brain, there's 30 cents of value, and guess what? Maybe it wasn't so dumb. It cashed. A win is a win. Jazz plus 10.5. So they were winning for a decent portion of this game. And then the Suns, kind of just like dramatically sent it to overtime. And I'm sitting there like, this couldn't be worse. You know what I mean? We have a lot of points. We took this before Devin Booker, or excuse me, Kevin Durant was ruled out and all that. And I was like, what a great line. It got kind of sweaty there in overtime. They still ultimately did pull it out in terms of covering that 10.5, but they lost by, what was it, like 7 or 8 points. So it was more sweaty than I think I would have wanted it to be. And then Tyler here under 3.5 3 pointers made. Loved that look. And you know what? That one cashed as well. What do you have? Two threes made. So yeah, love to see that, guys. 3-0 night. The NBA's been a lot better to us as of late. February has sure as hell been better than January. But like I said, we do not have a full slate to go through in today's video. Let's get to some of our plays. Actually, first, my bad. We got to talk about the ride of the day here. Chris Paul over 6.5 assists. Parlay Guru cashes it. Chris Paul finished with, let's see, he finished, I believe, yes, with 7 assists. So just barely. And this line later on in the day bumped to 8, bumped to 7.5. So yeah, if you got 7.5, you got screwed. If you got 6.5, you were in there on time, you cashed it. And we got this ride of the day out pretty damn early as well. So yeah, we'll do our best to get the ride of the day out, but make sure you guys keep an eye down in the comments for Parlay Guru's ride of the day. We're going to try and tweet it out and everything like that. But like I said, we're kind of on the go today visiting some friends up north. So we'll do our best. But again, traveling, what can you do, right? But anyways, guys, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's go ahead and jump into our first play of the game. And this is a line that I've seen posted elsewhere at 30.5. So the fact that we can get Kyrie right now over 28.5 points plus assists on FanDuel at minus 115. You can get it on DraftKings at minus 120 literally right now as well. So I've seen some 30.5s out there. I don't know if I love it as much there. I may pivot to just his assists in that case. But yeah, Anthony Davis in the building. They're taking on Houston, who is obviously a very good team. But the way that Kyrie Irving likes to play is the pick and roll. In Houston, though they do have some strong suits when it comes to covering the pick and roll, they're not the best team at covering the pick and roll. They don't get it run on them all that much. So I guess when you look at it from that perspective, or they get it run on them a ton, and they don't necessarily like stop it that often. So I guess what I'm saying here is that they are a team that gets the pick and roll run on them a ton. Some of their score percentages, their effective field goal percentage may look good because they have a lot more opportunity. You know what I mean? It's not like someone runs it 3 times and then scores twice and it's a 66% hit rate. No, they'll get a bunch run on them, 50% of it's cashing. I still like that spot because we're looking at Kyrie to score and to dish it out here in this spot today. And he's got a new friend there, Anthony Davis. So, like I was saying, I do think that's a favorable matchup in terms of being able to get those assists in there because they can clamp up the pick and roll sometimes, but they also can struggle. But either way, the Mavs are going to run the pick and roll a ton with this. And this is a Houston team that teams do like to run the pick and roll against. So I'm looking at total quantity over quality today in a sense because Kyrie Irving, as we know, like I mentioned, is a huge pick and roll ball handler. You throw Anthony Davis into the mix, the number one way he likes to get his points is honestly, or I guess other than getting to the foul line, but the other number one way outside of the foul line is getting the ball in the pick and roll. So I think Kyrie's going to want to involve the new big man early and often. That's why I said maybe just pivot to his assists if you have to get like a 31.5 points plus assist line. But either way, if we have a frequency of pick and roll here in this spot, which that's what I truly believe is going to happen, Kyrie's going to be that guy that runs the pick and roll, right? And he's either going to come off looking to score, obviously, or come off looking to find the guy that set the screen, which most often will be Anthony Davis today. At least we hope. We haven't seen these two guys play together, obviously, but I still do like the spot. Even using props madness, you can look at Kyrie Irving's play type, which they would say pick and roll ball handler, and they say the defensive rank of the Rockets versus pick and roll ball handlers is 29th in the league. I think that they're more of like a 50-50 team, I'll be completely honest, but it is what it is. You look at his next play type, right, Kyrie Irving, which is isolation. You can also get this team in isolation, so that's something we haven't talked about yet for his points, right? They're a very good defensive team, but they've been kind of up and down as of late, and Kyrie should be able to also get his in isolation, but with the same thing in mind, right? He's going to get that isolation. They may send two bodies at him, close out at him hard, whether it's one guy or two guys, and he should be able to find someone else. So I think that we could see some catch and shoot opportunities too in terms of threes for other guys on the squad. So that's why I'm throwing his assists in there. I think this defense is pretty damn good and good enough to make it so Kyrie could struggle just points wise. But we're looking at 28 and a half. I really do think that he could get to. I think he can get to like honestly 7 assists today, right? So go out there and score 22 points, which would be hitting the under in his points and over an assist, and we end up cashing this one. But over 28 and a half points plus assists is what we're rolling with for Kyrie here today. All right, guys, before we get to pick number two, check it out. Sleeper has four discounted squares for the big game here on Sunday. Mahomes, Hurts, A.J. Brown, Xavier Worthy, all discounted. How could you not go sign up today? You're also going to get a free square the day of signing up, whether you do it today, tomorrow, anything like that. And you also get a $5. You play $5 as a new customer, right? Five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They'll give you $55 back for that $5 entry. You 11x what you put in like that. And if that payout, if that slip hits and you get that payout, you still get it. You know what I mean? So you get that 55 and whatever you win from that payout. You could throw these into the squares as well, into those slips. So go ahead and check it out. 1, 2, 3, 4 discounted squares right now. And you'll get an additional free one when signing up and a play 5 get 55 promo. Check out Sleeper, guys. That link will be down below in the pinned comment as well as the description. It's an absolute no-brainer. I mean, literally absolute no-brainer. 4 free squares for some serious action on the big game over on Sunday. So go ahead and check it out. Again, that link will be down below in the pinned comment as well as the description. Play number two here. We're looking at a guy that we actually faded a couple days back, right? But I'm rolling with him today. I like Franz Wagner here, over 24 and a half points. I honestly went back and forth. By the way, these two plays are quarter unit plays. Going light today. We've been doing well in the NBA. Swept last night. Don't necessarily want to, go all crazy when we have more limited time. I guess less time in general. So limited time to do our normal research and whatnot. So yeah, what we put into these plays, I trust. But in terms of, you know what I mean, like the half unit, like we're not spending hours and hours and hours and hours and hours vetting. So that's where the quarter unit plays in. But anyways, back to Franz Wagner here. 24 and a half points. We faded him last time, but I do like the matchup today. He's going up against San Antonio. The San Antonio team, I think that we can start to start saying, if that makes sense, that this is not the best of squads defensively. We haven't seen them, play this season, these two squads, but San Antonio, like Charlotte, I mean, LaMelo did come back. They're on a back-to-back here. 117 to Charlotte, 125 to Atlanta, 128 to Memphis, 105 to Miami, who's not a fast-paced team. Milwaukee, 118, 128 to the Clippers, slow-paced team. Indiana, 136, 110 back-to-back games. Miami, 128. Like they're allowing tons of points. This Orlando team, their offense has looked up and down, right? But if they're playing a bad defense, I think Franz Wagner is going to be the guy that capitalizes. I really don't mind Paolo in this spot either, but I do think Wagner, being the shooter that he is, could capitalize in multiple ways. Scoring in the paint against San Antonio, which, again, we thought they're a very good team. They're not in the paint. They're not good defensively overall, but either way, in the paint, but then also he has the ability to knock down the threes, right? So he's hit this line over his last 30 games here. In fact, I want to bring this in a little bit. Let's look at his last 20 games because he's been in and out and injured. But we look at his last 20 games. 12 of his last 20, he's hit the over, averaging 27 points per game, right? Last time he played the San Antonio team, like I mentioned, it was a while back. But it's better to have this in your back pocket than not, right? So last time he played the San Antonio team, which was again February last year, almost a year ago today. Actually, might have been a year ago today, if I'm not mistaken. I think I saw February 8th earlier. 34 points against them, okay? He shot the ball really, really well, but that was 34 points in 28 minutes. He did shoot 76% from the field, okay, but he made three threes. So, again, back to the kind of reason I like this is that he's a guy on the Magic that I think can score from anywhere on the floor, predominantly in the paint and from three. Those are two of the biggest weaknesses of the Spurs offense. Weirdly enough, they're covering the mid range. Does it make sense? Probably, because they do have Wemby, whose arms are 8 feet long each, so he can block these sort of like mid range shots and cover a lot of space. But Franz Wagner should be able to shoot the threes, should be able to get into the paint today. In fact, if we look at him against teams, independently, we'll look at both, right? So in his last 20 games here, we'll shrink this down. Against teams that are bottom 10 in the league at defending, we'll do bottom 5 because San Antonio's down there. Bottom 5 at defending the 3-point line and let's go bottom 10 at defending the paint. He's hit the over in 55.6% of his games here. He's averaging 27 points per game. So yeah, I really do think this is a good spot for him. I hope he has the quantity. I think he should. Last time we ended up taking his under, so that worries me a little bit that we're going from taking an under of a guy who his line was at what, 26 and a half, and he ended up scoring 14 points. So kudos to us. We saw that one. But hopefully he bounces back here. The last time that he didn't hit his over, he came back and hit his 30. He hit 31 the next day. The time before that, he had 37 the next day. The time before that, he had 20 points. He had 32 the next day. So this is a guy that seems to bounce back pretty damn well and in a big way. So yeah, I do like this. I mean, Jalen Suggs still listed as doubtful. I'd probably prefer he doesn't play just so we have some more quantity for Franz. But overall, over 24 and a half points seems like it's a good spot. Again, to recap, we have Franz over 24 and a half. And we also like Kyrie over 28 and a half points plus assists. Both of those being quarter unit plays. I explained why. As when we don't have our multiple screens and every process going, I don't want to just necessarily throw a lot out there, especially when we're doing that really well. But these two plays, if anything, would be worth normal, half unit or full unit plays to me. But something about traveling and doing that just doesn't sit right, I guess. I feel like I'd be jinxing it. So, nonetheless, that is going to wrap it up for today's video, guys. If you made it this far in the video, go ahead and comment 12 down below. Really do appreciate you guys sticking with me on a road video. We may have a normal video. I'm not sure exactly our timing. So, may have a normal video tomorrow, may have another road video, but obviously be back on Monday. Make sure to go check out our Super Bowl video. That is out right now. My personal video, and then also head-to-head, the finale of the season with Tassos. I kicked his ass this year, but you know what? Still a good Super Bowl special that we did. So go ahead and check that out, guys. Really do appreciate you tuning in, and we'll catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out.